Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Here we are at we're Yahweh's Evangelical Assembly. I'm pastor of it. We publish the Yahshua's Witness magazine, which we have the current issue, January to March, is run off and it's ready.
It was mailed yesterday. She mailed it out yesterday.
Okay, it's mailed out yesterday. I thought that she was going to mail it Monday. Anyway, okay, it's on its way. And we also publish Search the Scriptures, and we publish the YEA News, which I've got, I'm working on that now. We've had, we put out the Search the Scriptures, and then we put out the magazine, and it's about to drive Rachel crazy getting all the stuff back that we get back. We just take people off the mailing list if it comes back to us. So anyway, we publish all those things free of charge. There's no price, because how can you put a price on something that is inspired by the Ruach HaKodesh and is the truth? You can't put a price on it. It must be made available free of charge. You can get on our mailing list by writing to us at Post Office Box 31, Atlanta, Texas, 75551. Sorry, I was reading something here that Laura Wilson posted. She's been iced in all week. We've been iced in all week ourselves. And she says no mail, no trash pickup, and no work either. Well, our trash, they came and picked up our trash today. But, yeah. So anyway, we're back on track until we get the next big chill from the north, which I hope there isn't one. You can call us at 903-796-7420, or you can get in touch with me on the internet, on email. My email is jerryheelan@sbcglobal.net. Also, you can get a lot of our materials on our website, which is yea777.org. And a lot of people just pull that off. You can print it out or whatever. I mean, we do not copyright our materials. A lot of people do, but we don't. So you're free to take it, to disseminate it, make copies of it, send it around. Don't worry about it. Okay, now, I'm going to have my wife read the prayer list, and we'll get into the message. Oh, no, wait.
Wait a minute. Our bank was even closed here for 3 days. We Yesterday was the first time you get to the mic. Brethren all over the world, especially in the U.S., Britain, Philippines, Kenya, India. Mark Foster, please pray for him at the loss of his 33-year-old daughter who committed suicide. And missing is Jimmy Tackley, who's that's their granddaughter. Please pray for them. Jerry Healy, Iris Hernandez, and Aunt Johanna Mora. Chase, please pray for him. He's our oldest granddaughter's husband.
Chase Graham.
He has leukemia, and he has to take chemo once a day. It's Chase, Brittany, and Declan Brown, Jacob C. Meyer and family, Robert, Allen, Sarah, and Tanya Kerr, Tanya's mom, David and Rachel Williams, Hilda Ginger, Susanna Long, Sue Dodd, Henry Thurman, Judy Howell, Sarah Assad and Tom Levin, Jerry Hensley, Gary Bennett, Rosa Blizzard, and all of her family. Alfonso Manfredo, Shannon Bergman. Shannon Bergman is in really bad shape. She's going to have to be taking chemo 2 to 3 times a day. Mark Brown, Mark Kosovar, Hassel Davis, Robert Smart, Renee Smith, Elaine Keys, Carlos Espinosa, and Son Daniel, Billy Wilson, Sharon Shaw, Dakota Curry, Linda Johnson, Brianna Hanley, Wayne Irene, Dwayne Dewey Parker, Cynthia Wilson, Seth Myron, our son-in-law Matt, he's very sick. Please pray for him and Michelle. Our granddaughter Courtney, Justin Lyman, Landry Foster, our granddaughter Corey and her husband, and our little great granddaughter Cameron, Corey, Cameron, Shane, Corey. Please continue to pray for Rachel, Drew, Alan, and Clara. Please continue to pray for Teresa and Taylor Ashby. For George Kanye. Is he doing better, honey?
Yeah.
Okay, he's doing better. He has kidney failure, so please keep him in prayer. Jacob Mark, Alan Escobedo, Alice McCain's husband Mike and daughter Katie Baker, Henry Cook, Carlos Espinosa, Rich Dunbar, Megan Johnson, Robert Cano, Dallas Rozier, Michael Francis, Priscilla Rochelle, Braxton Dyke, Brenda and Jonathan Elrod, Darren, Mandy, Elizabeth, and Peyton Bunch, James Stein, Riley James, Dora, Rick and J.C. Pyle, Mike and Angie Hill, Linda Davis, Jennings, his little 6-year-old, he has come down with COVID and the flu. And please pray for Amanda McBride and her family, her son-in-law and daughter, and she all have the flu and COVID. Please pray for Senator Cotton Brown and Paul Brown.
Okay, it's interesting to me that when they started tabulating the COVID back when 2019, that there was hardly any flu.
There was 30,040 cases that year, and less than that the next year. Everybody had COVID still flu. I'm like that yesterday.
Yeah.
Took a cold talking about it.
Right. Anyway, let's go before Yahweh in prayer. Father in heaven, Yahweh, we come before your great throne of grace, mercy, and truth. We thank you so much, Father in heaven, that you've given us access to your throne through, in by and through your Son, Yeshua, the Messiah. And Father in heaven, we now have a blessing that very few in other ages have ever had. Now we are able to come before your great throne in the heavens, and that's a fantastic blessing. But we've read off 108 names here of people who need prayer, who need healing. And we just ask you, Father in heaven, to be with them, to bless them, Father, and let them know, Father, that you're the one who does the healing, and you're the one who through whom the blessings of health, strength, and vitality come. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this Sabbath day. Shabbat Shalom, we say to you. And Father in heaven, we're asking you to be with us, place your blessings upon us. Especially bless the speaking as well as the hearing. Many, many terrible things are taking place in this country today. And we need to know what's going on, why it's going on, and the many things that this message today is concerning a lot of that. And so we give you thanks and praise, ask you to lead, guide, bless, and direct the message, the speaking, as well as the hearing. And we give you thanks, praise, honor, and glory in, by, and through the name of your Son, Yeshua HaMashiach. Hallelujah. Amen. I don't know if you can see this or not. Especially. Yeah. Uh-huh. Anyway, there's a secret army, and it's ready to take down America. So I'm going to read this a lot of this to you because brethren, we've fallen victim to our own sins and iniquities, and I'm telling you this right now, it's going to continue to be bad. It's going to go from bad to worse very shortly. And that article that I just flashed, talking about the takedown of America, I'm going to jump into the middle of it because a lot of the first part has to do with Russia and so forth, but this is breaking into the article itself. The main uncle, in quotation marks, in Washington, former top Ukrainian president advisor Alexei Arestovich now wants to sue for causing hundreds of thousands of needless deaths. This report details is Supreme Socialist leader Joe Biden, who yesterday told reporters in his New Year's resolution is to be back in St. Croix next year. In a post to his social media platform, Truth Social, yesterday, written in all capital letters, President Trump wrote that there would be a catastrophic stock market crash and a new Great Depression if he doesn't win in 2024. And no labels president candidate Joe Lieberman just warned, I've never seen this much anger at the two major parties. They've gone two different ways, brethren, but they're still working hand in hand, and the way they're working is bringing destruction to this country and basically to the rest of the world. With Christian religious scholars having long noted about the end times, there are no specific references to the United States in Bible prophecy. That's a lie. This report concludes today the leftist Washington Post in its article Doomsday or Doom Dominates 2024 messaging as Trump and Biden trade dire warnings. Fearfully assessed in President Biden's increasingly stark telling in America led by former President Donald Trump in 2025 would be a dystopian dictatorship with American values constantly on the brink of collapse. Trump has said if Biden wins a second term, Americans would no longer have a country and the globe would quickly descend into a third world war. The reason is that if either man wins next November, nearly half of the country could be primed to believe it spells the end of the nation and its values. A fearful assessment joined by world-renowned American investigative journalist Leo Hohmann, who in his just released open letter, 10 Predictions for 2024, get ready for tough times with war and economic collapse on the horizon, beyond chillingly warned the year 2023 will go down in history as the point at which the globalists completed the assembly of a massive secret army inside the U.S. in preparation for the final takedown of America, transforming it into America, Amerika. By my calculations, there are anywhere from 1.5 million to 5 million foreign soldiers already inside the U.S. awaiting orders. Well, see,
Bringing all these illegal aliens over there, saying they can join the army, or Navy, Marines, or whatever, and then some of them even say they can run for official offices. Just awaiting orders.
Yeah. Well, we know that we've been told these most of these people coming across the southern border, and we've also got people coming across the north from Canada into the U.S. But you know, one of the things that's taking place in this country and has been taking place is that the federal government in all kinds of the post office and other divisions of the government had uh, has had orders in for millions upon millions of rounds of ammunition.
Yeah, well, they're trying to take it away from the public.
Yeah. Now, what if all those weapons purchased by U.S. federal government agencies were accumulated for the purpose of arming this assembled army? Think about that. Everyone wondered why federal agencies with no law enforcement role, like the Small Business Administration and Health and Human Services, were buying up guns and ammo under Obama's administration, and now again under Biden's regime.
Not only that, you got the IRS doing the same thing with another 85,000 new people with rifle or gun. There's a lot of turning into.
Yeah. There are two potential scenarios surrounding Donald Trump. Under scenario A, Trump gets elected in a landslide but is never allowed to see the inside of the White House. The regime in Washington calls out BLM and Antifa to set fire to the streets in mostly peaceful protest.
Yeah, mostly peaceful.
Yeah, like they were before. They were violent protests, but the people in Washington and in the governments, the state governments and so forth, they said, "Oh, they're just having a big party."
You know, there was an insurrection at the White House last week where they went in there, broke stuff, threw stuff down, and something. And they said, oh, well, they were only keeping the Constitution of the riots. They were violent on the inside, trying to hurt some cars, but it was peaceful.
Yeah, right.
It was an insurrection.
Sure. Okay, so the regime in Washington calls out BLM and Antifa to set fire to the streets in mostly peaceful protest, then declares martial law and accuses Trump of being an enemy of the state who was elected under false pretenses. MAGA, MAGA, Make America Great Again, people are rounded up and placed in camps. They put out a warrant for Trump's arrest or maybe have him assassinated by one of their patsies. Under scenario B, Trump loses to Biden or whoever runs on the Democrat ticket because Colorado, Maine, and several other states are trying to remove him from the ballot, or maybe they keep him on the ballot box but stuff ballot boxes with fake votes.
They're trying to get Nikki Haley in there because she's a new world order.
Either scenario, A or B, will serve to jumpstart the second American Civil War, so coveted by the billionaire globalist elites.
They get rid of Joe before election time.
Yeah. Okay. In the first place, America is mentioned in the Bible, but by a name that's been stolen and utilized over in the Holy Land. America is the 10 tribes of Israel, America, Canada, Britain, a lot of different places. Australia, maybe even South Africa. But, the rebellion against the King of England, it came from 13 colonies. When America was made to 13 colonies, 13 to most of your people, uh, your people that know much of anything about the Bible, is the number for rebellion.
There's 13 tribes.
And yeah, and there are 13 tribes, but and those 13 tribes rebelled against Yahweh, you know, and they had to be removed from the land. But there's something that's very critical that's going on that I have to make comment on. And to know that this is probably true, but we started out 13 colonies. Well, 13 also is a Hebrew number, one for love, ahava, and one unity, echad, one. Ahava, feminine Hebrew word for love, is equals to 13. And uh, the other 13 is echad, for unity. But Yahweh's going to begin his judgment first on his house. And so how do we know that we still are America? Our America is still Israel? Well, have we not come to 50 states, 50, which puts 50 stars? We started out with 13 stripes and 13 stars on the flag. Now we've got 50 stars. And 50 is the number for noon, the letter noon in the Hebrew Bible. And that has to do with the noon, has to do with it looks like a sperm, but it has to do with being related to the nation Israel. 50 is the number of liberty, the number of freedom, and the number for inheritance. And we've come to 50 stars. We've been blessed. That's true. But Yahweh brings his judgment first on his house and on his people, then on others. So the nation Israel over there in the Middle East is going to be, judgment's going to come upon them, and judgment is coming upon America. You know, America was supposedly dedicated to the Elohim of heaven. But this country has gone the path of sin, wickedness, evil, much blood, especially innocent blood, has been shed. Let's go to 2 Kings 24, 1 through 4. This is about, first off, go back to chapter 23, in verse 36. Jehoiakim was 25 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 11 years in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Zebudah, the daughter of Pedaiah of Rumah. And he did that which was evil in the sight of Yahweh, according to all that his fathers had done. In his days, Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came up, and Jehoiakim became his servant 3 years. Then he turned and rebelled against him. And Yahweh sent against him bands of the Chaldees, and bands of the Syrians, and bands of the Moabites, and bands of the children of Ammon, and sent them against Judah to destroy it, according to the word of Yahweh, which he spoke by his servants, the prophets. Surely, at the commandment of Yahweh, came this upon Judah to remove them out of his sight for the sins of Manasseh, King Manasseh, according to all that he did, and also for the innocent blood that he shed, for he filled Jerusalem with innocent blood, which Yahweh would not pardon. Yahweh would not pardon it, brethren, not the spilling of innocent blood. Let's go over to Psalms 106, 34. Psalms 106 and verse 34. They did not destroy the nations concerning whom Yahweh commanded them, but were mingled among the heathen, and learned their works, and they served their idols, which were a snare unto them. Yea, they sacrificed their sons and their daughters unto devils. That's what the abortion movement does today, everybody. Verse 38, and shed innocent blood, even the blood of their sons and of their daughters, whom they sacrificed unto the idols of Canaan. Sorry about that. And the land was polluted with blood. Thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a whoring with their own inventions. Therefore was the wrath of Yahweh kindled against his people, insomuch that he abhorred his own inheritance, and he gave them into the hand of the heathen, and they that hated them ruled over them. Their enemies also oppressed them, and they were brought into subjection under their hand. Many times did he deliver them, but they provoked him with their counsel, and they were brought low for their iniquity, their lawlessness. Let's go to Proverbs 6:16. Now, brethren, this is what's been revealed in the scriptures. Yahweh will not pardon the shedding of innocent blood. And so much innocent blood has been shed in this country.
One article said that reason for the most death that's taking place right now, not guns, not knives, ball, bat, car, anything. The number one killer was abortion.
Yeah. Okay, Proverbs 6:16. These 6 things does Yahweh hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. That's an abomination to him. A heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that are swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaks lies, and he that sows discord among brethren. Yea, 7 are the abominations unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. Okay, I've just put that double in there.
Probably need to double because
Yeah,
people don't understand.
hands that shed innocent blood, those are abominations to him. The abortion movement, which so many people support, including the Democrat Party, is such a shame for this country. It's an abomination which Yahweh will hates, and neither will he pardons. There's innocent blood on the land, which will only be paid for by destruction, death, and removal of any surviving remnant from the land. Now, what are we going to do? Well, we need to lift up the voice, and we need to cry aloud everything that's going on. We need to hate it, and we need to speak against it because it's something that Yahweh hates. It's lawlessness. It's wickedness. Okay, now, yeah, yeah. It's such an accepted thing now, and people are uh, of all classes. You know, they're so afraid that the Republican will get into the office and do away with the so-called abortion rights. Brethren, we need to pray for the one who is going to be dead set against abortion. But we need to pray, and I'm not sure that we need to pray for this nation anymore because so much has been shed. Now it's been happening throughout the world also. So the world has blood on it first, but Yahweh, he works against his own house first. And so we will be the first to be taken down, America here and Israel over in the Middle East. Okay. In acknowledging its failure to persuade, this report concludes the leftist New York Times lamented this morning in the first chance Americans had to cast judgment on Mr. Trump since he tried to overthrow an election. Many Iowa Republicans made clear they don't judge him, they adore him. And the leftist Axios news service, in its article 31 minutes, Trump's historic Iowa victory puts America on notice. It fearfully assessed the astonishing speed and sweep of former President Trump's victory in the Iowa caucus last night delivered a massive wake-up call to Republican skeptics still dreaming of a post-MAGA, Make America Great Again, world. Inevitably has been the prevailing theme of Trump's quest for a third straight GOP nomination. His historic win in Iowa, declared by the networks just 31 minutes after caucusing began, moves the country one step closer to the longest general election campaign in modern history.
So what last night in my other state,
Mm.
telling the whole Democrat, I mean, all Republican,
Yeah.
go
You know, we saw what happened during the last election when Mr. Trump was winning. The evil Democrats, or should it be Demon Rats, prepared millions of bogus votes for Biden who couldn't muster any crowds to his appearances, while Trump had thousands. They stole the election and then threatened anyone with prison terms if they even questioned the election results. Therefore, they have changed the government to be similar to a communist regime. But there's more, brethren. Here's a headline. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'll read what it says. Former Nazi regime warns West is in danger as Biden targets Bible owning Americans. So, you own a Bible? You own a Bible? So do I. I got a bunch of them. Uh, okay, I'm going to start reading right here. In the just released Wall Street Journal article, if you think Biden is unpopular now, this report notes, its section, Who Let This Guy In? Observed, fortunately, the standard Davos claptrap at the World Economic Forum, WEF, was interrupted this week, at least for a time, by the new president of Argentina, Javier Milei, an observation joined by American mixed martial artist UFC champion Sean Strickland, going viral for blasting leftist reporters promoting Nazi ideology with the declaration everything that is wrong with the world is because of you. And the best thing in the world's not buying your BS. Quickly following the news, a Boston Globe's Suffolk University NBC 10 poll of likely New Hampshire voters in the state's January 23rd Republican presidential primary released Wednesday shows President Trump with a commanding lead over the nearest rival former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, 50 to 34%, while Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has cratered to 5% support below the number of undecided voters. This report continues. Socialist Vice President Kamala Harris issued a true Nazi declaration. She said, I am of the school that you either run without an opponent or you run scared. The socialist German Nazi regime enforced its tyranny with its vast Schutzstaffel, aka SS. SS, that was the elite troops of Hitler. Its vast intelligence organization that spied upon every citizen to control their lives, and is most critical to know that because Republican Party leader, United States Congressman Jim Jordan, just revealed the beyond chilling news. New documents obtained by the Select Subcommittee on the Weaponization of the Federal Government reveal that the federal government flagged terms like MAGA, M-A-G-A, and Trump for financial institutions if Americans used these phrases when completing transactions. Individuals who shopped at stores like Cabela's or Dick's Sporting Goods or purchased text like a Bible may also have had their transactions flagged. This kind of pervasive financial surveillance carried out in coordination with and at the request of federal law enforcement into Americans' private transactions is alarming and raises serious concerns about the FBI's respect for fundamental civil liberties. So, what they're going to do, brethren, anybody that's a MAGA member or is for Trump or has a Bible, they're going to focus on those people and they want them eliminated. That means you and me also. And I don't see any way we're going to get out of these problems unless the scenario takes like this. You know, when Gideon had his army, 300 men, 301 actually, well, what they did is they sowed confusion among those people. It was in a mass group of people who had invaded Israel and was bringing poverty upon them. And what Yahweh did is he had Gideon and his men sowed so much confusion among those people that they began to kill each other. Now, I'm telling you this right now, brethren, the same situation can happen here. We may have a bunch of these uh, foreign troops here, but they could get confused and start fighting and killing one another if that's the way Yahweh wants it. But I'm telling you this right now, we're already we're already at the point of destruction because of the innocent blood that our nation has shed. Innocent blood. And we're going to be considered their enemies. And the only thing that I can say is you continue to serve and fear Yahweh because he has his masterful way to deliver his own people. Remember that. Don't ever forget it, brethren. Huh? Yeah. Okay. One of the most feared and powerful creations of the social German Nazi regime, this report concludes, was its state-controlled media that silenced all opposition. Well, isn't that what they're doing now? They're silencing any opposition to what they're doing. That's what's going on, brethren. After President Donald Trump won a historic election victory in Iowa this week, his victory speech was silenced by every leftist media outlet, which caused Republican Party leader, United States Senator Marco Rubio, to greatly warn. What's really changed is not just a partisan tone of the coverage, but now this effort to say we're not going to carry a speech, we're not going to let you hear what he has to say. We will interpret it and we'll put up snippets we want you to hear. But we made the decision to no longer carry it. This is exactly how state-run media is used by authoritarian governments to delegitimize, to discredit, to basically make people believe that there is no alternative but to the regime and to their rule. And was a great warning joined by CEO Jamie Dimon of the world's largest bank, J.P. Morgan, assessing the leftist fake news state media at the World Economic Forum yesterday. When people say MAGA, MAGA, they're really looking for people voting for Trump. And they think they're voting and they're basically scapegoating them. And you are like him. But I don't think they're voting for Trump because of his family values. Trump has been kind of right about several significant issues such as NATO, immigration, economic growth, tax reform, and some aspects of foreign policy concerning China. And that's why they're voting for him. The Democrats have done a pretty good job with the deplorables hugging onto their Bibles and beer and their guns. I mean, really, can we just stop that stuff and actually grow up, treat other people with respect, and listen to them a little bit? Well, brethren, you know, the problem is that even in college, the students have been, uh, yeah, brainwashed and yeah, programmed for the Democrats.
You know, that Democrat did, they went over it one time here a while back, that most of your so-called professors in and with a bunch of these high-ranked colleges.
Yeah, that's true. But that's what I have for today, brethren. The thing about it is, what I want us to realize is that we're getting very close to the appearing of Yahshua. And I think we're getting very close to the time when Yahweh is going to intervene and work for his people to deliver his people. I believe that's going to happen, and it may be this year, 2024. But I've, I've looked at 2030 to 2036. That's a 7-year period. And we're going to have from 24 to 2030. Well, 2030 is when the World Economic Forum and the big wigs in government will will be trying to do everything they can to keep Biden and Kamala in office. They did it last time, and they can do it again. And if they do it, you and I are going to be sitting sitting ducks unless Yahweh delivers us in a magnificent way. And I believe he will. Yeah. So, brethren, be armed, be warned, forewarned about what's going on. We're very close.
Be armed with the whole armor of Yahweh.
Because if Yahweh is going to allow this country to go down as well as Israel and in the Middle East, yeah, in Great Britain too, then he's going to need to deliver his people. And I believe that you can go to the book of Revelation and you can see where Yahweh does deliver a good number of his people into the wilderness. And that may be us.
You also see where it says in there that when he got an army together to slay 1/3 of mankind
Yeah.
by these armies.
Right. So we're getting close, very close to the end of all things, the end of this world, and the ringing end of a new world. But a lot of things can happen between now and then. Keep the faith, brethren. Walk in the righteous ways of Yahweh. And whether we live or die, let's keep the faith and do not fail the faith, because Yahweh will not fail us. And with that, I say, Yahweh bless you and keep you. Yahweh make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon you and give you shalom, peace. And they will put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will be blessed, brethren. Let's close with prayer. Father in heaven, we thank you so much for this Sabbath day, and we know that some horrible times of torture and suffering are coming. But we look to you, and we look to your Son Yeshua to save us from these things. Although, Father, if we are entrapped by them and they catch us and torture us and even slay us, help us to stay strong in the faith, to be ready and to be armed, Father, for your powerful deliverance. Because these physical bodies need to die anyway, so we can put on a new immortal body, a new righteous body. We love you, we thank you, we praise you, we commit ourselves unto you, Father, in by and through the name of your Son, Yahshua the Messiah. Hallelujah. Amen.
Much love, everybody.
Yep.